Hi, I'm Bill Paris, an editor of Brooklyn Vegan, and you are listening to BV Interviews, which features conversations with some of our favorite musicians. This week, we're talking to Memorials, the duo of Verity Susman from Electrelane and Matthew Sims of It Hugs Back and Wire. Their second album is titled All Clouds Bring Not Rain and is a technicolor psychedelic pop extravaganza that ranges from baroque folk to krautrock to Doors and Pink Floyd-style wig-outs and many points in between. Matthew and Verity discuss how the album differs from their debut, Memorial Waterslides, and why they went to remote Southwestern France to make a big chunk of it. We also talk about the duo's origins, the wide array of unusual instruments used on the album, translating their often complex studio arrangements to their duo live setup, touring with Stereolab, their upcoming spring tour with Holy Fuck, the value of playing loud, 5 records they think everyone should own, and more. Let's get into it, shall we? Here's my conversation with Memorials. I'm pleased to have Verity Susman and Matthew Sims, who collectively are Memorials, on the show today. Their second album is titled All Clouds Bring Not Rain and is out via Fire Records. Verity, Matthew, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thanks for having us. Yeah.
All right. You guys are calling from your record label offices today, is that right?
That's right, yeah. A little outpost they've got in Brighton.
No, it's in Brighton.
Mm-hmm. The main offices are in London, but yeah, they've got a small office down here.
Where they do the manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. I've never been to Brighton, but it seems like it's like the indie capital of England these days.
It's Verity's
It's my hometown.
Tell them all about Brighton.
No, I feel like I see a different side to it now. But yeah, I've born and raised here.
Oh, okay.
It is a lovely city, yes.
Seaside, right?
It is, yes. Yeah.
We're about 2 weeks out from the record. You guys are feeling okay about everything? You've got it in, you've seen the actual album in your hands and stuff, so.
Yeah, the record looks great.
Yeah.
We have this amazing friend, Laura, that paints for us. She's like the band's, not every band gets to have a painter.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. So she's amazing. She's on the cover and it looks great.
Yeah, she did the cover of the last one.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, that's hence the band's painter.
So she's the third member of Memorials?
Yeah, I think she probably would count as there's a few, we're being big. I mean, there's always might just be the two of us, but there's definitely a lot of other people that help out. But I think she's up there.
Does she work on the live visuals as well?
No, that was somebody else. Yeah, Sapphire Goss.
She's great.
Made them for us, and she uses a lot of analog film and drawing on film, and so there was a sort of correspondence with what we do with tape, which is why we wanted to work with her, and the way the stuff looks when she's finished.
For those listening who might not be super familiar with your current project, could you give a little brief history of how it came to be, how Memorials came to be?
Yeah, Matt and I have known each other for about 20 years.
To that long?
It is.
Almost.
I think it is 20 years. Almost 20 years. We were briefly on the same label at the same time when I was in Electrelane and Matthew was in It Hugs Back, and we were both signed to Too Pure. So we, just as Electrelane was ending and It Hugs Back was starting, so we crossed over and then remained friends and played on each other's records, helped each other out with projects. We had a short-lived free improv band, and just
because we were called Cup,
yeah.
We did play with Steve Beresford a couple of times, which was great. Love that.
And that I was playing saxophone and Matt was playing modular synth, and that it was completely free music. That was really good fun, and we had a drummer for a while, and then about 5 years ago, we decided to start working together on soundtracks. We were both doing film soundtrack work on our own, and then thought, well, let's try and do it together. And then we did a couple of film soundtracks and put them out as records, and got some gigs from that. And then it turned into a band. We needed a name, and then we wanted to release some material that wasn't film soundtrack material, so we wrote some, and it came from there. But at the beginning, there was no intention to start a band.
Yeah.
It just sort of happened.
I know, now look at us. 40 gigs or whatever we've got to do next month.
Yeah.
So there was no intention of like playing live or anything at first. It just sort of...
Not at all.
Not at all, no.
But those soundtracks did have some songs on it, like full songs.
Yeah, they did, especially Women Against the Bomb. The director, Sonia Gonzalez, wanted, she was quite specific about what she wanted and the kinds of songs, and that she wanted them to be songs. It was the documentary was about Greenham Common, women's peace camp in the UK in the 80s. And she wanted some of the music to sound as if it could have come from the women at the camp who were doing a lot of singing. That was part of their protests, involved a lot of singing. So yeah, that was quite heavily song-based. And a few songs on Tramps, which was about the art movement that led to the New Romantic movement in London. Weirdly, they're both soundtracks that we did at the same time, were both the documentaries about early 80s subcultures and alternative movements, but totally different ones.
Yeah.
But we were offered the opportunity to perform one of the soundtracks live, and it was from there that this band started. And then we got asked to play with Stereolab at a gig in London where they were giving out a cassette tape to everyone who came with a track from each band that was playing. They'd done it as a sort of mini festival. And so we thought we wanted
to have anything.
We didn't have anything.
We done that. Okay. But that was the inspiration to write something, not for a film. So yeah, which is a nice, I mean, Stereolab have been great to us in general. They're a great band.
Yeah.
And really supported.
Yeah.
And I mean, Electrelane has probably toured with Stereolab back in the day, right?
Actually, we never did.
No.
I mean, they were one of our favorite bands and a big influence, but we never toured with them. We never played with them.
I was going to say, you toured with Stereolab last year in North America, and sometimes it's tough for an opening band, but I would have to imagine that Stereolab fans are pretty amenable to memorials.
They seem to be, on the whole. I mean, they were, I don't think we could have asked for nicer audiences. They were really warm. I mean, we have played, every band plays support gigs where it's tough, but they were some of the most enjoyable gigs we've played opening for Stereolab.
It's also the way Stereolab set it up. They did all the things you could only, I mean, it's surprising, but it doesn't always work that way, that they let us go on kind of an hour after Doors, and they let us play for 45 minutes, and they gave us sound checks every night, and they just, I mean, they're brilliant. You can't. They're a great band, and yeah. So
thoughtful, because
they're doing all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good to us, and to all the bands that opened for them. They split the tour up. I mean, their world tour, they split it up amongst different bands, because I think they know they had a platform to give bands, and it was an amazing opportunity for us to be able to play to way more people than we would have been able to play to otherwise, and start to reach more people in the States. So yeah, really grateful to them for that.
Another thing I'll say about that show, and I guess Stereolab in general, a lot of times the support act doesn't get to play at full volume, but it seemed to me like you guys were playing at full volume. Like those keyboards like blasted out. You could feel it in your chest.
Great. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, I feel that.
I mean, I think with our music, like we kind of like, I particularly like to be on the extremes of things. So if it's supposed to be pretty in your face, I like to be fairly in your face, and then at the same time, if it's kind of warm and gentle, I like that to be as warm and gentle as possible. So it's kind of, I'm interested in those juxtapositions and the, you know, making those, so that to hear that's good, that, you know, that's how we want it to come across.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, and we were working with the we don't usually take a sound engineer around with us, but we know someone in New York, Dana Vax, and we asked her if she would do sound for us there, because obviously it was a really big gig to play, probably the biggest gig we played, and she did. So that, you know, that always makes a difference, especially when you're a support band.
You sounded fantastic, I thought. I really didn't know what to expect. I definitely wasn't expecting all the instrument switching that you did, which was really awesome and made it fun to watch. And I'm sure that makes it fun to play as well.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Really fun.
Yeah. And we like to, I think we both, well, I don't know if you do as well. I definitely feel more comfortable when I have something to do.
Yeah.
On stage.
I can't think of anything worse than sitting on stage and just stood there.
Yeah, I'd really struggle just on my own with a microphone, but
I don't know how people do it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you do go and see bands and they're quite happy to just sort of, you know, not be up to much.
I mean, I've always with that, but I need to be, because
you're impressed if they're not doing anything.
Well, no, but if they're able to sort of carry it, just, you know, holding a microphone or something, it's.
Or maybe as a front person, yeah.
Yeah. But I need to be busy with my hands, with my feet, and to have a few things going on to not feel self-conscious.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not doing something, I start, you know, going into your head too much. Whereas if you're just busy, then you can get on and sort of get a bit lost in the music.
Yeah. It's been a fun challenge, because we didn't, as we sort of said, we didn't intend to perform as this band, so we're figuring out how to do it, and getting our heads around that with that sort of mini studio setup on stage. That's all of that's been really fun. The challenge of just translating it as the two of us, it has its limitations, but in a way that's something to push against, which I quite like.
Mm-hmm.
And every album is a matter of working out how to play those songs live after we've recorded them. So they always end up a little bit different.
Figuring out the arrangement, which is what we've been up to recently. Yeah, sort of figuring out how to play the new record live, which is...
What's been the most difficult?
The most difficult song?
Yeah.
Holy Invisible was hard, but we've got some...
Yeah.
What else has been tricky?
Mediocre Demon, I think that's
quite hard to play live. I mean, both sort of ones I'm kind of determined to figure out, so we're working on it.
Yeah.
Some of those where there's always just a lot going on those tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it gets harder, because we don't want to just rely on, it has to be able to go wrong, otherwise we're not doing our job properly.
Yeah.
So
swapping around instruments, loop pedals, that's tape machine, which is always likely to go wrong in some way. But yeah, that side of life is good. Not knowing if it's all going to work properly.
Brings a bit of danger to the show.
Yeah, exactly.
So much danger there. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the fact that it can all fall apart is kind of important. The sort of music. It needs to be a bit like that, and I like the idea that there are bits that we do that sound different each night, which again, it's just things I like in other bands. So hopefully we kind of have some of that too.
That's what Tim said, isn't it?
Yeah, that was one of the really nice things he mentioned.
Yeah.
And we sound. There are moments where we sound like a different band each night, which that's a real
Tim Gain from Stereolab. So.
Oh, okay.
Really nice.
Real compliment, I think.
Yeah.
Who knows? You could take it either way, I guess.
We took it in a good way.
I'll take it in a good way.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you guys have had Drop Down the Well worked out for a while. You played that on tour last year, and that went over great in Brooklyn. That's a real banger.
Yeah, I love that one.
It's been really, really good fun to play. That was a sort of an aberration in the way that we usually work. We really wanted a new song in the set last year, and we wrote that and started performing it almost immediately. And then
we're always working on new stuff, though, aren't we? That's like one of the. I mean, like having momentum and like looking forward is important to us as a, you know, I mean, that's what a band, you know, if you're a sort of an active band. I mean, talking of Stereolab again, like they just sound great because they're back with a new record. You know, they sound, to me, like the comparison of their show compared to what they were doing on the previous tour when they were sort of hadn't made a record in ages, and they, you know, it's remarkable, the difference, and it's the difference of being kind of actively involved as a band and working on something, and you know, having some creative push or that you're like driving on.
Yeah,
that's yeah, it's a bit of
yeah. I think playing that song in particular, Drop Down the Well, playing it live had an impact on the arrangement and the way we recorded it when we went into the studio. And usually we were arranging them differently when we go on stage, but that one was sort of formed through playing it live.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Were any other songs like created thinking that you were going to play them live? Like In the Weeds to me sounds like it would be really fun to see, but maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't.
Hopefully it will be.
We've been rehearsing that one. That one's fun. I mean, it's just that song was fun in its, I mean, it's all just fun. It's like every bit of it is kind of a bit, we trying to make each verse, even though they're sort of the same chords, it has a slight, very different arrangement. And then when it goes to the other bit, that it does that twice, and it's a different, you know, there's not the same instruments happening. And so it was a very much a like, you know, we were sort of, it's kind of deceptively weird, hopefully. I mean, even the time signature changes, like they're not, it wasn't written to do that, but like, it's just how we felt it. And then you figure it out, but like, it is quite awkward, and it's like trying to play it now, we're sort of realizing how awkward some of it is.
Yeah. That one actually felt like that was one I thought I can't imagine how we're going to play that live. It seemed like one that was just going to come together in the studio. We're working on it, and it's a fun one to try.
There's a real surprise with that song is that we're doing a few acoustic installs, which we haven't done before with this band. But that song, we've got an arrangement with an acoustic guitar, harmonium. It sounds different, but it really works. I was surprised with that one. So yeah, maybe they'll see the light of day one day.
I was going to say, that seems like it would be completely like new arrangements and almost like making a whole new record, just trying to get these acoustic things out. It would be a shame if you didn't record them in some way.
Yeah, tell higher.
It's an excellent idea.
Such a good idea.
Maybe Record Store Day, Black Friday or something, you know?
Oh, that's Noah. When's that? November?
Yeah.
Is that a new thing? Record Store?
They have a Black Friday one as well, yeah.
Wow.
That's an interesting idea.
For like the last 5 years.
I like their Record Store Day records.
Yeah.
They do a lot for that.
Yeah, we did a single for the not the Black Friday one, for the April.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course.
We'll put that one in our pocket.
All right. I expect a thank you on the sleeve.
Guaranteed.
Okay. Talking about the new album, you recorded it in a few different places. You've got your own studio. Why go elsewhere?
So I mean, I hesitate to call out I have a space set up in a garage, which is I love it, and I don't have, you know, sort of illusions of having some posh studio that is a commercial space. It's an amazing collection of wonky gear that is interesting to me. But yeah, so going elsewhere was really for the studio in France was really based mainly on the location and the ability there to really just sort of it's kind of the opposite to where we have at home. It's in the middle of nowhere, and the studio is pretty big. There's a live room and a control room, and there's nothing else around at all. It's completely secluded. So
all you do is go to the studio.
That was amazing for particularly working on the vocals, and like we had all the songs written at this point, so we were just recording, so we knew what we wanted and sort of where to go. So we were quite calculated, I guess, with some of these choices.
Yeah.
In a couple of places in London, it was just for particular instruments that we either couldn't afford to buy because they're just way out of our price range, or we can't afford to store them because they're too big.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love a vibraphone so much, and I can afford one, but I can't really fit it in. So yeah, that was the combination. I mean, we did. There is still a bunch recorded ourselves in our little space, but mainly it's not. It was yeah.
It was amazing for me in terms of recording vocals to go to the studio in France because it was completely secluded. There was nobody around, and so I think I felt a lot freer recording there somehow.
That was fun.
Yeah, that's good.
We get to, we're kind of we learned this quite quickly, but we're kind of up for 17-hour recording sessions and
Okay.
a couple hours sleep and getting back to it, which is kind of fun. I mean, when you couldn't live your life like it all the time, but that kind of work ethic, or not everyone's up for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the things we found quite quickly is that sort of, we see that as a fun thing rather than a bad thing. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't have enough switch.
So that studio Saint Remy, that's where you also recorded the Kate Bush soundtrack. That's how you came across it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Sonia Gonzalez, who was the director of Women Against the Bomb, one of the first documentaries.
She probably counts as another band member.
Yeah, she is.
We were talking about this. I think Sonia's on my list.
She invited. Well, she said go. It was a friend of hers who owns that studio, and she said go there to record the Kate Bush soundtrack. And they filmed some of it because we were in the documentary, and they wanted to film us working there, and we just loved it. It was such an amazing, beautiful place. So we decided we'd go back there for our own record, and hopefully go back again in the future.
Definitely, anytime. Summer, we're hoping to pop in.
I looked it up on the map, and it's very close to the Spanish border. Did you guys ever take a break from recording, pop over to San Sebastian for some pinchos and chacoli?
The funny thing is, we were told because we were going back, we were told that there was a lake, I don't know, 20 minutes walk or something.
Yeah.
And before we went this time, and we were told, you should at least go and see. And we didn't see the lake, did we?
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, we never made.
I mean, yeah.
Took us in costumes and everything.
Yeah.
We never made it there.
Yeah. But no, San Sebastian's lovely, isn't it? Nice place.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would be the best place to go make a record though, because I think there's too many nice places to go and eat in San Sebastian.
Way too many. Speaking of the Kate Bush documentary, I haven't seen that. It's only out in France, and you can't even watch the trailer on their site, it's geocoded or whatever.
We can I'm sure we can change that for you. At least you.
Oh yeah. So I haven't heard your soundtrack. Approaching the score for a film about Kate Bush, does the music change as the way you would approach the two sort of more historical films otherwise?
I mean, because it was some of the Tramps film about the sort of proto-new romantic movement, there was a music side to that, so that the director wanted us to have some influence, not from the new romantic movement, but from some of the early DIY electronic bands that were around, late 70s, early 80s. And for this one, of course, the music was, responding to making the music for a documentary about a musician. The music is a big consideration. The director was quite clear that she didn't want. She wanted music that would have some.
There was references, but not. It wasn't sound alikes, which is again This is what Sonia, like I was saying about Sonia being great to work for. She's really clear about what she wants, and she also she's not asking us to just make something that sounds like Kate Bush, which would be pretty dull for everyone involved, because no one can do what Kate Bush does. So, I mean, we focused on some of the stylistic things that she does use and how we can apply that into it, and some of the production sounds, so that there are references to that, to some of the sound worlds and the things like that. More so, it's a much less song soundtrack, isn't it?
Yeah, it's incidental music.
Yeah,
and it's sort of our musical impulses, but refracted through this lens of Kate Bush and her sound world.
Yeah,
and then we did a cover for that was great. Filmed from probably our favorite album of hers, and we covered Sat in Your Lap.
That's another thing we need to do something with.
Yeah, we want to release.
Yeah, because that was fun figuring that. So
from the Dreaming. Again,
it didn't have to. It's a memorial. That was not us working for the director. That was us as this band just doing a cover for it, which was nice.
And you said you're in the film as well?
Yeah. So she filmed us working on the cover. Part of the documentary was looking at Kate Bush's influences on contemporary musicians, and she's filmed a lot of different musicians performing covers of hers. And because we were in the studio working on the soundtrack for it, she filmed us working on a cover.
I haven't seen it. Have you seen it? I think you watched it.
I have. I had to.
I didn't watch
sit through it. Yeah. I mean, the documentary's great. It's sitting through watching yourself is
right. I understand.
Extremely painful.
You're braver than me.
But yeah, the documentary is good.
It's like having to edit these podcast interviews and hearing how much you stammer and stuff, which.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to listen to that.
Speaking of tramps, before I forget about it, have you gone to the Blitz Club exhibit that's at the London Design Museum?
No.
I haven't seen that one yet. Yes.
No, I'd like to. And there's the Lee Bowery one.
Yeah.
So.
It's good that this stuff continues, as quite rightly. I mean, that documentary sort of shone a light on some fascinating, the lesser known side to some of that stuff, but hugely influential. And
the unknown people that get a lot of the people that became more successful were really born and in that scene. But as it always is, that sort of often the more interesting artists don't get so well known. But it's it was really fascinating to work on that documentary, to learn a lot more about people that we didn't know about, and you can really see their influence on the culture of that time and the way it's endured. And that was musically, that was a good one to work on, because like with the Kate Bush documentary, the director didn't want pastiche. He wanted us, Kevin Heggie, Canadian director, he wanted us to approach it with a bit of the DIY attitude that the scene at the time in London had towards fashion and art, where they were making things out of what they had around, and do that with the music.
Yeah.
So we had so
much more punk than, although it's the next scene after punk in London. It's their attitude to me. It's totally punk. It's making something amazing out of what they have at their fingertips,
right.
Which is, I really like that side of it.
So with the new record, do you approach albums with an objective, like I want it to do this, or what I'm asking is, do you have specific thoughts in mind for this one that were different from the first record?
We did, in terms of the recording process. I think the writing and recording process, we decided this time that we would write everything and then record it. So that, and which was different to the first one, where we wrote and recorded as we went along. Part of that was that we wanted to be quite clear before we went into record about the arrangements for the songs, and be specific about the instruments we were going to use, and to use as few instruments as possible. So not to keep adding things because it sounds nice. And there's a tendency, if you're working on something for a long period of time, to do that. We wanted it to be a little bit like the way records used to be made. You go into the studio and you know how the song's going to be. You don't have loads of time, and you record all the parts, and that's what you've got. And I think that, I mean, I'm probably more satisfied with that this time around, but just because we had a chance to consider the way we were going to do everything, but it wasn't considering it after you've done it and then going back and reworking things. It was thinking, this is how we think the song should sound. Let's do it, and then that's what you've got. Yeah,
we had a sort of although it's quite a wide palette between just the two of us, we had our sort of sound world. We like the harpsichord and the vibraphone, and that was very much into like I think in our heads.
Yeah, well, that was a big thing that we decided we didn't want to use any plug-in instruments.
I mean, it feels like we've barely used any.
We have, yeah.
It's like,
but there's always the kind of feel like, are we gonna go to a studio just to use a harpsichord, or we use a plug-in? We decided this time, no, we will. We'll go to.
You can have them at home
to the studio.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that was worth it. And the harpsichord was one of the first things that we recorded. And once we heard the sound, there's no way of emulating it.
It didn't even work
with the plug-in
when we turned up. Do you remember?
The harpsichord itself didn't work.
A crash course for about.
It was missing middle C.
An hour and a half. Trying to work out how to get it to tune and restring a harpsichord. But I mean, that side of it is, again, it's like what Verity was saying. The idea that harpsichord in that room and the way we've recorded it, I had a contact mic on the bottom of it as well that I then sent into a little guitar amp as well as, so you've kind of got that electric option.
We recorded the muted sound, which we've known about, would we? And unless we'd actually gone to play it, and that is quite a strange sound, and we ended up using that in different places on the record. So yeah,
it's really the focus on it. Doesn't am I trying to say? I think what's exciting is the capturing certain things that I like the idea of no one else really having that sound ever, whereas if there's a lot to be said of the convenience of modern music making, but I am a little bit concerned at the sort of idea that everyone's tape delay is the same tape delay, whereas the actual old tape delays I have all sound kind of wonky in a way that you just can't recreate. And each one, if you had another copycat delay next to it, it wouldn't sound wonky in the same way. And it's a sort of a lot of roundabout way of saying I'm drawn to that thing in records where just instantly I don't want it to sound the same as everyone else's wonky delay. So yeah,
I think the record sounds fantastic. I've got a decent stereo in my place, and it just sounds great. Like that's such a cool big record to listen to.
Nice.
Speaking of like instruments that you may not have at your own studio, Reimagined River uses a lot of Leslie speaker on it, which has a very distinct sound, mostly associated with Hammond organ, but I think, Verity, it's on your voice too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used it a lot. And that we went to a studio in London, and we had a list of things that we were going to play through it. But then we extended the list when we were there. We're like, let's more and more through it.
Right towards the end of working on the record, but we knew we were going to the studio because it had a Wurlitzer. We knew it had the Leslie, but it had the vibraphone. So we had our little list of things that and we had our day there. Didn't we? Only had a day.
Such an intense
day. But it was brilliant. I mean, just the sound. Again, it's the sound of that. Like I have 3 or 4 quite nice Leslie emulating pedals, but they sound nice, but they don't sound like the real thing.
Right.
It really is. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like, I'm not like, I really am not that sort of audiophile purist mentality at all. I'm the complete opposite, but I just like the I don't know, there's something, it's the...
Well, it's how trying to get the sound, and also this just the sound. We thinking about wanting to sound like real people playing in a room, and part of that is putting a mic in front of something and recording it in a room,
like
and all the idiosyncrasies.
It's amazing how much sound like you hear on records that's never actually been in air. Sound like as in it's all made in a box, and some of that does sound good, but it's not how we want to sound anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And some of those restrictions that we sort of placed on ourselves, I think they were useful as well, just in terms of the process, putting some structure around it. And I mean, with computers, you can, it's just endless what you could do.
It's not always good, is it? Limitations can be strong.
Exactly.
Right. For those who, we were talking about the Leslie, for people who don't know, it's an actual like spinning speaker that has a very distinctive sound. Once you know what it is, you recognize it immediately. Now, is that operated with like a pedal? How does
so this one was a ginormous box that has a speaker in it, and then it has a horn at the bottom, and then two that spin around that do the higher frequencies at the top. So that they were the main, for us, what we were using it for, how we mic'd it. And then it has a pedal where you can operate the speeds, and the sort of, it can ramp between the slow and fast spinning. Nice.
Yeah, the sound of a Leslie, you hear it a lot on Hammond, and I think people, if they don't know what it is, they'll recognize that sound of the Leslie ramping up in speed. It's such a full and exciting sound.
Floyd used it on guitar a lot. I mean, that's just such a great sound. We used that's on a few tracks on this record, but the vocals through it are really that was a real Lemon Trees
as well. Yeah,
when we heard it, we were just like, that's. And Watching the Moon, it was like it's just it's kind of, it just worked like really, really. Hopefully one of those sounds you don't hear all the time. So it's kind of what we're searching for. Even though you can hear it on Pink Floyd records and every soul record that you've ever heard.
Right.
But you don't hear it all the time. We're bringing it back.
Right.
Yeah, that'll be the step up in our life. So our Leslie speaker.
Well, now we've made it when we can have a Leslie speaker on stage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that should be in your rider. Looking at the credits on the record, there is, you mentioned the harpsichord and the vibraphone and the Leslie speaker. There's a lot of like vintage gear that you guys use that I'm sure some of which is quite temperamental. What was the most temperamental instrument that you used?
Well, your Farbisa nearly gave me a heart attack at one point when I'd opened it up trying to fix one of the switch, the heart, what's the heart, the tone boost.
Yeah.
Switch.
Yeah. Multi.
I had it all opened out, and it's the Farbisa you've had forever.
Yeah.
I managed to fix it, but it's got just don't click it too hard. It's pretty temperamental. You sort of have to give it a whack and it comes back to life again.
Yeah.
That's why we don't tour with it. It sounds great, but it's
been around, that Farbisa.
What else? I mean, it's all the tape machines are just, I mean, there were definitely I remember we were trying to record tape loops with the bells, do you remember? And we just, for whatever reason that day, the tape machine wouldn't sound the way it always, I mean, it was, do you remember that frustrating afternoon?
Yeah.
Many of those, with fiddling around with those things. But yeah, I think the Farbisa, I remember that day because we were, I'd said I'd fix it and then
ran into
trouble. So yeah, I'm definitely not a.
You're like, I can fix it, it's no problem.
I'm basically just the optimistic fool when it comes to fixing equipment.
So
yeah,
there was a keyboard we used in the studio in France it was a bit out of tune. There was no way of tuning it, but we thought it just sounded really great through this. They had the great amp, old amp,
Honor Orgaphon, which I really want.
Hmm.
Apparently, if you can get them in Germany still, so I'm going to be on the lookout.
Yeah, on our Germans.
Yeah.
But it just sounded really good. So we thought we'll record a load of parts, and then we've got them if we want to use it. And the tuning is a bit off, but when we put it in the mix alongside the Farfisa, a better way to explain it, when we took it out of the mix, it didn't sound nearly as good. The Farfisa on its own, so it wasn't so good. So that slight, the slight out of tuneness of this keyboard just tucked in behind worked really well. So that was a kind of the mistakes and the problems of things can sometimes turn out to be actually really good.
I mean, that's really the reason for fiddling around with all this stuff. It's that's what when you hit upon those moments,
right?
That's the satisfying stuff. It sort of makes the effort worthwhile.
I really like that song Reimagine River, and I feel like the slower songs on this record are a real step up. I also like Life Could Be a Cloud, which opens the record. Really cool song, and that made me think it does sound like an album opening song the way it works. How much do you think about a track order, and how hard is it?
We think a lot about it. Not before we start, but afterwards, once we've got all the songs. We had about 20 songs after the recording sessions, and it was a matter of picking the ones that we thought were the best and that worked in.
I think it's the listeners.
Order.
Yeah, it's the most important thing for us, that the side A, and then how it gets to the bit where you have to get up and turn it over, and like that's the most important aspect once we have a bunch of songs. So there's like that listen, and that's sort of what you get from it as a listener. There's a lot of focus on that, but it's not. I don't know if it's that we tend to agree. I think the reason I was laughing about Life Could Be a Cloud with that, I was adamant as soon as that song was written. I was like, that's the album opener. Like I knew what you really weren't convinced, and I still don't think you're convinced. Even though it did end up, but we usually agree on most things, on the whole.
Yeah. That song's really, I mean, it's kind of quite bare on my voice, and people are going to put it on and go, oh gosh, it's so annoying.
It's the opposite. But yeah.
So we did disagree on that one. It's very nice to hear you say you like it. Thank you. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to hear that you think about track order as vinyl sides and not just as like, a CD or the way things are on streaming now.
Yeah. I mean, I love CDs, but records are my favorite, and streaming I'm ambivalent towards it, I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, God, with streaming, who knows how people will actually listen to it. But we're still fixed on it.
I don't feel like
journey within the 12 songs or whatever that you've got.
Right.
Both of us grew up buying cassettes and buying CDs, and buying records. I mean, like the same with 7-inch. I love 7-inch singles, and like recently I've kind of gone back to them. It's just like you can't, the way if you, I don't know, I don't even feel like I own music unless I have it like to hold, which I know is increasingly like outdated, but there's something really pleasing about owning the thing. I don't really care what the thing is,
right?
Like what medium it's on, but I care a lot about owning them.
You recorded 20 songs. I was going to ask, how do you know when an album is finished? But I guess it's also like you're pulling from a lot of different possibilities.
I mean, whereas the first album was written not even with a particular intention to make an album. It was just, we were working on soundtracks and then writing what became the album as a sort of fun aside and kind of procrastination when we were supposed to be working on the soundtracks. And then we had an album from that. Whereas this one, we did a lot of writing because we knew we wanted to make the next record.
But how do we know when it's done?
I thought, I mean, I don't think we would unless there was a deadline. We wanted to put it out and we didn't want to take ages on it. And so that it was sort of like we have to get it done.
Well, I don't know. We had it's not necessarily just that though. I think there's the time frame in that, when you have to obviously sort of plan releases. So, where they fit into the world of what you're doing. But we had our like writing period for Set Out, didn't we? It wasn't that if we had the record, you know, it wasn't. It wasn't like we're just gonna have to make do with what we've got.
No, yeah. I mean, if we felt it wasn't, if we didn't have enough and it wasn't done, then we would wait until it was.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not just totally just dictated by that.
I think it partly was that we had quite a long period of working on it because
with the first, we didn't have a way to release it, did we?
No, for the first one, but we started writing All Clouds before. Was it? It was before Memorial Waterslides came out, I think. So Memorial Waterslides was complete. Was it?
Somewhere.
It was. It was around that time. We hadn't released it yet, but we'd made the record and we knew that it was going to come out. But then we were working on so we were working on writing new stuff. So the whole writing process in between tours and, you know, working on things sometimes on the road and when we were back, it was over about a year.
Probably.
Yeah. And then just a really short time to record. But I guess over a year, it's easy to end up with quite more songs than you need for an album. That was a good position to be in, I think.
Definitely.
To be able to pick from it, get rid of the totally rubbish one.
Yeah, you don't want to hear those.
Okay. You're going to be touring over here this spring with Holy Fuck, and both your records come out on the same day.
Yeah,
bands.
It's like Blur and Oasis all over again.
Yeah. Who will have the bigger midweek, Yeah,
we shall see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I bet their streaming numbers are good.
Yeah.
The tour ends in New York, which at least currently it seems like it's a question mark as to where it's happening. Can you say?
The speculation's high, huh? It's then it's going to be really. It is ill confirmed, but the announcement's soon, and I don't think we're allowed to say, right?
No, okay. But we know it's definitely going to happen.
It is happening, and it is on that day. But there's a few other bands playing. What else can we say? And the venue, they don't want to announce the venue, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a different kind of event. Not just the regular gig of us.
And the show before that is Tubby's in Kingston, which is a very cool place. You played there last year, I'm pretty sure.
We did. That was one of our favorite gigs of the tour.
I know. I kind of never wanted to leave.
It was really nice. It was everything that you'd want a gig to be, and everything was so well set up. You can tell that the guy running it has been in bands and he's toured a lot, so he knows exactly what bands need. And the audience was lovely. Such a good room, and really, it's like small, but in the way that the sound was good. I feel like everybody can see, but it's intimate. So
we had the great Animal Surrender, the guy Sun Watchers played as well, which was great. We both love Sun Watchers, so hearing his new band was really fun. But yeah, you see it on the list. When I see posters of what they've got there each month, like you just know it's a good place because like look at the listings. It's like. If I lived near there, I'd be there all the time.
Yeah. We were excited when it came up that we were going to play there because we'd seen it on, on bands that we like touring and going there. So yeah, and it lived up to its name, its reputation.
I would like to ask about some individual projects. Matthew, you produced the new Land Hecht album, which came out earlier this year, which I think is really good. Was that your first major production job outside of your own stuff?
I've done a bunch. I mean, I did a couple of records with Chastity Belt, which is in a similar kind of world. Yeah, the Land is brilliant. It was through her manager is the person that used to run Too Pure. So it's how Verity and I met. So she's brilliant. I mean, she does it all herself, and the writing and all the instruments, and like from my point of view, like as a recording that and working with her, it's really Marquette's just really, she's got a good work ethic as well. So it's like, she like, it's fun. Like she's excellent. I was pleased with how that record came out.
Sounds brilliant.
I was just talking to her today because she's working on some new stuff coming out later in the years. Yeah.
I like Chastity Belt. I had no idea that you produced some of those records. They actually used to get compared to Verity, your old band Electrelane, a lot.
Yeah, they're big fans.
And speaking of that, during the pandemic, Verity, Electrelane kind of got back together for this like Facebook chat or whatever it was, and then there was talk that there was new music being made, recorded. Is any of that ever going to see the light of day?
It was one afternoon that three of us from the band, not even the whole band, got together, and at the moment there's no plans. I think it was maybe a bit quick that it was put up on social media that we'd spent an afternoon together. We probably weren't expecting that the news would travel. And so far in those questions on the I'm still being asked about that one post. Yeah.
I said Brooklyn Vegan is probably a little partially to. I mean, we posted about it too, so we're guilty.
Spreading the good word. There's nothing to apologize.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm still kicking myself that I didn't go to Electrolane's last show on like the No Shouts, No Calls tour, which I think was Irving Plaza in 2007. I don't know why I didn't go, and then there you went.
Yeah, well, things have their time, and
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It feels a really long time ago now for me, but I understand that it's also really current for people who are still listening to the music. So yeah, it's a kind of strange situation.
Yeah. Have you had a TikTok viral hit or anything?
Electrelane?
Yeah.
Gladly, no. Yeah, that just waiting for that.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else we should know? Are you guys working on another soundtrack or anything?
No, we're available for bookings for soundtracks at the moment, right? Yeah. No, we don't have another soundtrack at the moment. We've just been commissioned to write a piece for a choir, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
So that's early. That's going to happen in France in the summer. Yeah, we're just touring a lot. That's what we're sort of working towards.
Right. Okay. Well, I think that's about it. But we always end the interview asking our guests to name 5 records that they think everyone should own. You guys can do it together or collectively. Go for it.
Okay, we're going to do it collectively. I think we agree on all of these 5. And we're going to kick off with an absolute classic that I would have thought most people would already know. And if they don't, they should change it immediately. And that's Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. I first had this record when I was about 12, and I used to listen to it walking home from school on my by that point I had a Discman, and I just loved it instantly. I still, as an album from start to finish, and I listen and all that stuff we were talking about, I feel like that is one where it does it so well, and arrangements are just, it's just an incredible sounding record, and yeah, it's hard to beat. So that's a good number 1. And we're going for number 2.
Right, next one is Catherine Ribeiro and Alpes and their album Pay.
This has been a
PAIX.
A fun. We've both bought copies of this in the last few years, right?
Yeah.
In France.
Yeah.
Love this record.
Yeah.
What's the era for this?
Late 70s.
Okay.
French band. She's got an incredible voice, and the band is really out there. It's just such a great combination of a band jamming and then this sort of beautiful folk singing, but it's really raw. So much emotion, such an incredible voice.
It's also
really, really exciting to listen to. Just I heard it a few years ago, and I was just like, oh my god, what is that?
Yeah. You introduced me to that one.
Yeah.
And also she has this is a lesser musical thing, but it's kind of amusing. An earlier record of hers has a font on it that we, not just that record, there's a bunch of records that have it, but this is because I'm quite into my fonts, and that was part of the reference on our current record. But anyway,
okay.
So I'm sorry to look up. Number 3 we're gonna pick. Yeah, niche font talk. It's just what we needed. NRBQ's Scraps is an essential listen. Again, this band for me were like the Beatles might be for most bands when they're growing up in their household. From my dad, and they're still his favorite band. And they're one of my favorite bands. But yeah, the sort of grooves and the songs on that record, the way it sounds, I love it. So that'd be a big recommendation for me.
Next one, Anne Briggs, The Time Has Come.
Yeah,
She's an English folk singer.
Amazing.
I found her really inspiring, a really big influence. She sings with a very English accent and in quite an unaffected way. I really love that, and beautiful songs, and quite unknown. I mean, I guess not in the folk scene. She's been a big star, but
Fire've got
more widely, not so well known.
The offshoot of Fire reissued her records. They're definitely worth picking up. All of them, but Time Has Come is the one. If you had to pick one for me,
yeah,
I love that record. And then lastly, we're going for Miriam Gendron's Mayday. I hope I've pronounced her name correctly. Yeah, I love that. I love all that I've heard of her. Annoyingly, every time she comes to England, we're on tour, so hopefully she can change that at some point. But
I think she's up there as one of the people that we both really want to see.
Yeah, I love her records, and I'd love to see her live. Big recommendation.
Great list. All right, Matthew, Verity, that's going to do it for us. Good luck with the release of the album and those acoustic shows. And for the North American listeners, you guys are on tour in May?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, West and then East Coast.
All right.
Boston in the middle.
All right. Thanks so much. And we'll see you next time. All right. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks for having us. Cheers.
Okay, thanks again to Memorials for being on this week's show. Their fantastic new album, All Clouds Bring Not Rain, is out via Fire Records, and don't miss them on tour this spring. Also check out our other podcast, BV Weekly, where my co-workers Dave and Andrew, and sometimes myself and Amanda, discuss the week's hot button music news, the latest releases, and more. You can also follow Brooklyn Vegan on social media, and if you liked this episode, be sure to tell your musically minded friends about it, as well as do all those other things, like, subscribe, write us a review, give us 5 stars, all that kind of stuff. It does help us reach more ears. Big thanks to our mix engineer Nick Gray and Michael Silverstein for the theme music. I'm Bill Paris. Thanks for listening.